Hello, my name is Matt Bird, and welcome to the PublishU podcast, where we explore the real life stories of authors from around the world. Today, I'm talking with Peter Bevington from Oswestry in England, who has written a book called An Unbelievable Inheritance. Peter, welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about you. What's your career been? What have you been up to so far?
My career is quite interesting and it's quite sort of fairly single-minded, and that's why I've written this book, because my first full-time job was at a school called the Quinta School, run by Bernardo's, where I went in 1971 as a housemaster and then became a teacher.
Wow. Is this a primary school or a secondary school?
It was what they call an approved school. So it was for young boys who had received approved school orders. It later became a community home, so it was for young boys then who had care orders. So there were about 100 kids in this school, and I worked there, as I said, first of all as a residential social worker, then as a teacher, till it closed in 1980.
Wow, wow. So you're an educationalist.
Well, background, I've had a very mixed background. I have an unusual academic distinction. I got into university by mistake, and they sent the wrong letter. And I studied basically what's called personnel management in those days, now HR, behavioral science, and I went on to train as a teacher and later got a further qualification as a social worker.
Yeah, very good. And so when did you first think about writing a book, Peter?
I have thought about it. I've been retired for about just over 10 years, and I thought about it a bit. And then in recent years, it's grown to be almost a burden, a calling, because by virtue of my history, I am the one who possibly knows most about the subject of anybody. And the story of the Quinta is really quite amazing, and got to the point.
The Quinta is the school, or what is it?
The Quinta is an estate. So
Okay.
my book starts around 1800, where the first records of it come into existence. And at that stage, it's owned by one of the big landed aristocracy family. And then it passed on to the new money, a business family from Manchester, cotton industry,
Yeah.
so on. So it goes back, and there's an awful lot in the story.
So it's a country estate with some buildings on that have been used for schools and different things.
Yes, so it began, we don't quite know how it began life, but when it came into sort of records, it was a sort of 3,000 acre estate with loads of farms and all the rest of it. Today, the residual estate is just about 52 acres with various buildings and things on.
Yeah. So your book is the story of what's happened in this place.
That's right, and it's an awesome story. I mean, in the first few chapters, I managed to mention in passing 5 kings or queens of England and 2 prime ministers, one of whose has a bust in the Oval Office. So it's an amazing big story.
Yeah, yeah. And and is this just for people, this book just for people who are interested in the Quinta, or do you think others might be intrigued as well?
I think others might be intrigued because what happened was that the small estate was left in trust. And after Bernardo's were trustees, then a Christian group took it over, and it's now quite a big conference centre and centre for world mission. So there are lots and lots of people involved, and I think I've been caught up in one of the biggest Christian stories of the time. It's an amazing story, how the place transitioned to what it is today.
And how is it used today, the Quinta?
So, well, today there's a 280 bed plus conference centre,
Wow.
and then there's a suite of offices for an organisation called Operation Mobilisation, which is one of the world's largest missions, and the Quinta is its UK headquarters. So it's in the story. You ask who might be interested in the story. Potentially loads of people, because the work of OM goes worldwide. Currently, they're in 140 countries.
Wow,
I
amazing.
know it is wow. So the potential is there. I don't know whether we'll sell several hundred or several thousand.
Yeah, yeah.
No idea.
And so, Peter, you very much see yourself as the curator of this book,
Yes,
gathering stories and records from in many places.
yes. I've prevailed on PublishU to put me as the guide,
The
as opposed to
guide, yes.
as the author,
Mm,
because in fact 10% of the book is written by other people, and there are contributions from 20 or 30 people in the book. So in a sense, yes, I'm the coordinator, the guide.
yeah, yeah.
So we've or I've prevailed on you lot to start the book in slightly novel way. The first word you read when you've got past the publication and copyright technical page is welcome. Now, I wonder if you know many books that start with the word welcome. It's a different thing, because trying to involve people in a journey through the history. So I'm wanting them to sort of, it's more than just reading book, it's taking a virtual journey through other people's experiences.
Yeah, amazing. And so, Peter, what do you hope is people's takeaway from reading An Unbelievable Inheritance?
The takeaway, I think, will be different for different people. There will be some people who are just interested in history. There's some people who are interested because they've been there. But one of the things that I've tried to do with the book is not gloss over the painful. So it's very, very real story, and it involves real people like myself who make mistakes and get things wrong. And we don't cover over the pain. So, for example, the Bernardo's time, where you had boys in care under court orders, there were some very painful things, but there
Yeah.
was also some very good things.
Yes.
So, because it covers so many things, so many people involved, what I hope is that people will see in the book challenges and encouragement for themselves.
Beautiful. We all need that, don't we? And
With
and you received quite a lot of encouragement and challenge also on the Writing My Book course. How did the Writing My Book course help you, Peter?
Well, like me, PublishU has great things and not so good things. None of us are perfect, but the course was close to perfect for me, because without it, I wouldn't have a certain amount of knowledge. And the biggest thing was that it gave me a structure. And within the structure, there was discipline, because there were goals to meet. There was encouragement for yourself from yourself, and there was support because we were in a group of people all trying to do the same thing. And that, for me, was brilliant, because there was a lot of work involved, probably more than your normal course book. But I've actually managed to succeed within the goals of the course.
You certainly have. You've excelled, and you've done a really amazing job, Peter.
Thank you.
So well done, you. And now your book is globally published. I mean, what emotions do you have?
I think at the outset I'm a bit nervous as to how it's received, because there is a real sense that it's not my book. It belongs to loads of other people whose stories I've tried to write and encapsulate.
Mm,
So will I have let them down? Will I not? We'll see as people read it. But it's also very exciting.
mm,
So I know somebody in Australia and somebody in the States who will get a copy straight away.
yeah,
So there is that excitement
yeah.
and a wonder, as I say, is it going to sell well? Is it going to be a flash in the pan, or will it go on to be used?
Mm, mm, yeah. Well, one thing is for sure, Peter. You've upheld the greatest diligence in the research and writing and editing and preparation of your book for publication, and I commend you
Thank
for that.
you.
So, thank you, Peter, and thank you all for listening to this edition of the PublishU podcast, featuring the real life stories of authors from around the world. If you're interested in becoming an author or curator like Peter, then please do visit our website, www.publishu.com, and we'd be delighted to talk with you. And if you've enjoyed this broadcast, make sure you subscribe for more. Thank you so much for joining us, and goodbye for now.